Called it an erotic poem on the theme of fat.
I know. I was like, oh my God, that is the best ever compliment that I ever had in my life.
Welcome to the Macy's Beauty Series about being more than just beautiful. I'm your host, Heaven Nagatu. Today we're interviewing Victoria Blamey. Victoria is an incredible chef lighting the way in her field, and up until last year, she was the head chef at Chumley's. The New York Times wrote a rave review of her bold and unique take on each dish, and most recently, Zagat named her one of 13 chefs to know in New York. Let's get to know Victoria.
I used to cook a lot when I was a kid, and I grew up with that sense of, good wine on the table and some imported like olive oil, and, so I grew up with a lot of food around me, but my mom was working all the time, so she really didn't have the time to cook for me. So
do you feel like you got your idea of like what professional looked like from her?
She has this really beautiful skin. She used to wear makeup all the time, and when she goes to like any kind of work party, she would have this really bright fuchsia or like red lipstick, but I remember her being super feminine and just so stunning.
How do you get ready for your day?
Well, I try to have like a kind of like a quick routine, just like if I was going into a kitchen actually, have all my stuff like laid up. Well, so I would do some spray. Usually I use rose water. Also, do some eye cream as well. I try to keep it short just because I'm usually in a rush. And also we were working crazy hours, 14, 16 hours a day.
What? That sounds intense.
It is, but obviously I want to take care of my skin, especially if I'm not sleeping the hours that I usually don't, and I'm not drinking the water that I'm supposed to drink, and not eating the stuff that I'm supposed to eat. So, I try to do a couple of things that are actually for myself. The Michelin star world is usually regarded in the way that is very professional and serious. Mm-hmm. I think it's when you're driven, sometimes you want to work for the best and you want to be inspired, so you work in these places. And
I'm curious how those experiences have shaped you.
Basically, when you're cooking at that time, you feel, that almost like the life depends on that. It's like you just give the best that you have, and usually you work for free, or your family is not the first thing, and it's because almost like you're going into school, that is like the second school that you go to.
So I have to ask about the burger. It was like everyone was talking about this burger. Like, what was the inspiration?
Just the burger I wanted to eat. But Mara wasn't in the meat, and thinking crispy shallots that I love so much, and some spiciness, and it just came out of nowhere, and it came up in the fastest way, so I actually loved it.
The New York Times review called it an erotic poem on the theme of fat.
I know. I was like, oh my God, that is the best ever compliment that I ever had in my life.
Where's the inspiration for like new food?
I think it's about curiosity. I think it's about sometimes like, be a memory usually, something that I ate. Or something that I used to see. And it has to have some kind of meaning in that way of, like a personal thing. Sometimes when I want to recreate something, I want it to be like, oh, how did I used to eat it when I was, 15? Or I remember that chicken that I had when I was growing up, but I want to turn this into a rabbit, and I want it to be slightly more spicy, blah, blah, blah. So it will be usually something as a memory that comes to mind, triggered by something during the day.
How do you feel like you differ as a boss from those you've had?
Maybe I'm a little bit more funny sometimes, but only sometimes. I think I try to have more of a conversation, with the people that I work with. Try to listen a little bit more and try to teach something, even though it might not be a lot. Just to kind of loosen it up a little bit more. I can also be very serious, and I just want to, maybe sometimes play a little bit of music in the kitchen, and, you spend all day together. So, right. That silence, I used to appreciate it, and now I just want to feel like, more like home.
How would you describe your personal style now?
I think a little bit less alternative than it used to be. I had a very dramatic haircut, and then it was going really wrong. And at one point, my mom was like, "Can we just do something about this?" And I was like, "I just want to shave it." They shaved it, and I was like, "Can I just do something like a dark blue into black?" And then it grew, and then I did like red on the ends, and I don't feel like that anymore, so which is good. But I think it's like casual, maybe a little masculine sometimes. I love like masculine shoes, even though I have tons of high heels, and I like that contrast.
So what's the last thing you do in your routine?
Usually, I mean, I know that as a chef, I'm not supposed to wear perfume, but I'm a crazy person for scents, and I remember my mom wearing perfume. So usually, I try to just do a little bit because I don't want it to get in the way of cooking and the smells, that go in the kitchen. So I think my look and my makeup is done.
You look great.
Thank you.
And that's our show. See how to recreate this look as well as more inspiring videos from this series in the link below. Thanks for watching.